people, welcome back to my channel. It's me Maliza, and today I'm going to show you how I do my loc curls, aka goddess locks. If you want to see how I do them, stick around. Before we get started, let's talk about the braids that I'm going to use for this look. I've braided most of my hair with copper colored braids. The brand that I've used is called Darling number 35, and it's the hot water set. I'm basically going to design my own curls, dip the braids in hot water, and they'll take on the shape that I want. I've only used one package so far, which I cut in half, and I still have this portion of braid left over. I have a section of hair that I still need to braid. I'll use this to show you what I do. I'm also going to use rough textured braid. Unfortunately, I threw away the piece of paper with this brand, so I don't know what the name is. However, what you're looking for are rough textured braids that blend in perfectly with your frizzy hair. If you use normal braids, as your hairstyle becomes old, or if you wet your own hair, your frizzy hair sticks out against the silkiness of these types of braids. But with these ones, they blend in perfectly. As usual, before I start working on my hair, I spritz it with water to soften it, and then I comb it to detangle it. Next, I take a thin strip of braid. I start thinning out both ends of the braid, and this will stop them from unraveling. Because I need more length for this hairstyle, I halve the braids and I add them back together, closer to the ends, and this gives me a longer braid. When it comes to braiding, I like to use my own hair as the third string in a braid. So I simply wrap the braid around my hair and I start braiding. This is how I've always braided my own hair, and no, it has never unraveled on me, but I've never had relaxed hair, so don't try this on relaxed hair. That's a big disaster. About a fifth of the way, I divide my hair into two and I add each section to the two strips of braid. I then start twisting until I reach the end. I repeat this for the rest of the hair. As you can see, I already curled the other braids, but for the purpose of this video, I'll show you how I got these curls. So taking the first section, I twirl that section. Taking a string of yarn, I start wrapping that string of yarn several times around the same section to secure it. I then continue wrapping diagonally down the braid. When I reach the end, I push the braid upwards along the string of yarn, and I tie off the string to secure my beehive or corkscrew or whatever you want to call this. I repeat this for the rest of the braids. For the next part, I wrap my shoulders with a towel to protect myself. Taking a container of hot water, I take another towel to protect the hand that will hold it. I dip the corkscrew in steaming hot water for about a minute, and I take them out carefully. I do this for all the hair and dry them off. Once dry, I remove the strings of yarn. For the next part, I'm going to do 4 locks on top of these braids. I'm going to show you a method that uses glue, and I'm also going to show you one that does not use glue. Now, the one that doesn't use glue, your braids really need to be rough textured, like they really must be rough textured. But if they're not, you can use glue. Working with my first braid, I add a thin strip of copper braids to my rough textured braids because I want them to show through in my lock. I start wrapping the braid from where the braid starts, not at the roots, because that will pull on my hair and hurt like crazy. I wrap a bit of the way and then I separate the copper strip and add it to the braid because I don't want it to show through the upper part of the lock I'm creating. I continue wrapping. And when I get close to the end, I add back my strip of copper to the rough textured braid because I want a mixture of red and brown near the end. I keep on wrapping. Before the braid's finished, I take a thin strip of braid and I use them to tie a knot to secure my lock. And I wrap a little bit further. Using my glue, I smear a strip upwards along my lock. I now wrap the braid going upwards to cover that glued area, and I'll continue wrapping until I finish the braid. And this is it. No burning required. Next, option number 2 without glue. I'm going to do the same thing for the upper part of this braid. Here's a closer look of how I add the strip of copper back onto the rough textured braids. Now for this option, I'm not going to use glue. I simply take a thin strip of braids when I'm close to the end, and I tie my first knot. I continue wrapping downwards a little bit further down this braid. I then tie another knot, and usually 2 knots is all I need for my 4 locks. For the rest of the braid, I wrap it going upwards this time until it's finished. And that's it. This second method is what I used on my rough textured braid, and it has worked for me. This is it, guys. So you now know how I do my lock curls. I'd love to hear from you. Is there something that I do that you also do? Or do you have another method for me that I could use next time? Leave that comment down below, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up or like this video if you found the information helpful. That will definitely leave a smile on my face. Thank you once again for watching. Subscribe and share this with your friends, and see you next time. Toodaloo.